So, first of all, I'm doing 67897 credentials. My name is Auditradley. I have been a Riflery 05 in the military police, commander of soldiers, and a sports guide. Finished in honors. Was picked from a 1 in 100, 2 in 100 for this course. BA in honors in psychology. My parents wanted me to learn finance. They insisted on me to learn finance, as did all the stages, bookkeeping, tax advising, and finished in honors at Bar Ilan, accounting, and finished the bar exams in success of being a public certified accountant. In Israel, I am in the international law considered an FCA, fellow chartered accountant. Also, I've done a retirement planning successfully, and got a .NET scholarship at one stage from a high-tech company. This is the credentials. I want to introduce my strange family. My parents adopted a Muslim, a Muslim child, a psychopath. His wife says he's an alcoholic, but his therapist says he's a beaten spouse. My elder sister, who thought for many years her parents are not giving her any support or money, didn't understand that in the background it was the Muslim, mainly the Muslim, and the banker brother. So the Brazilian is the sister. For many years she wasn't in touch with the family. We have the banker. He's supposed to be my biological brother, but as you can see, I have all the records. I'm an incubator girl. My mom couldn't bring children into the world, and all my registration is some kind of a miracle medicine operation that was done in Jerusalem. You can see him, he is almost 190, and I'm a midget. I'm a midget and a Jew, while they are not Jews, and I'm persecuted because I'm a Zionist Jew. My brother, the Muslim, poisoned all his Golani friends, then turned to me to poison me with some kind of oppressor of narcotics and all kinds of stuff. Poisoned his wife before, put her on speed in about 97, 98, before she became his wife. And in 2021, he decided, after beating her up, and while she had COVID or something like that, and she wanted to get the divorce, he put her on benzodiazepines, which are sleeping pills, and decided to dismantle a company of hers. Wanted to detach her from her family. He asked me to do the dismantling of the company, and apparently he really, she really went out with a loss. He didn't want to do a valuation, really didn't, and then he went to therapy, and the therapist says he's a violent man. Okay, this is the personalities we are talking about. Now, let's say talk three. Dan the Muslim, the banker, have criminal files, and also the attorney. Murder. Clause 300 of the law, of the penalty law. Aggravated, I'm compelled to say it because in a restriction order you have to you have to explain this. This murder was opened in December 2024 by Michael Gavni, the head of investigation at the time in Savidor. The file number is 4999808 from 2024. Before that, they already had in the Muslim sat in prison, a military prison, because they said he's trading with Hezbollah. with narcotics. He was a drug dealer before he went into the army. He was connected, when I was in the police there, I was told he was connected with Biza, a football, and he was a drug dealer, and he had 3 years surveillance on his, at the age of 16, he brought a shining, a beautiful car, 16, from nowhere. He sat in the military, he sat in prison 6. I think he also, when he forced on his girlfriend speeds, I think he sat in an ordinary prison because he just disappeared for a month, put her I was out of the army, he gave her to me, and he said, take care of her, that she won't, she will be okay. And then he disappeared for a full month, and she was on speed. It was really sad to see, for some reason he forced speeds on her. She had no reason to get speeds. Okay, murder, clause 300 in the law, 301 aggravated murder. Case, as I said, 499 is 808. From 2021, the banker and the Muslim, who's a gambler for many years, he lost, I was his tax advisor. He always lost. 20 years he has a lost. Only, 2021, and not by his gain, but by her profit, we managed to offset that loss of gambling in the stock market. And when she overpaid and he stole 100,000 shekels, he put benzodiazepine sleeping pills, and he stole 100,000 shekels from her refund because she overpaid. I said, Dan, this is not yours. It's not. I was completely, amazed. He wasn't, and then he went and told her, oh, please give me for my gambling. He didn't say my gambling, but he just, he has less money than me. It's unbelievable. It took so much. He took from my father free service, houses, and furthermore. The banker became a Muslim. You can, if you will ever see his British passport, he all the time just most of his vacations are in Muslim countries. All this perception of a woman should not own her finance or shouldn't own money, it came from them. It's nothing to do with my father or my mother. And you can see it when you trace back so these are them. Now we'll talk about evidence. The clauses that we are, they have murder, aggravated murder, try to murder me. Again, 435, which is exploitation of vulnerable people or an elderly person. In this case, my mum, they signed her on an ongoing power of attorney to sell her house. The lawyer was involved in that. To sell her house, he found a buyer. You can see only, because when she died, they put a will that I never knew about it, that they will run my money. So I paid a lot of money for lawyers to do negotiations, and they didn't want to show neither the papers, neither the assets. So apparently from 2021, they took over the banks without any allowance, without, they didn't put a partner in the bank or anything. They took over the application, took over her credit card and stole. Okay, stole. And you can see, for instance, while they signed her on an ongoing power of attorney in January 2023, I'll open it up in a moment. And in the request for a restriction order, you can see when she's mute and completely vegetables. I mean, it's not nice to say, but you can see that they have signed her on an ongoing power of attorney after liquidating all her assets in the bank, taking over a flat in Eilat in 2021. They told her, oh, for 20 years she had a flat that made an income. And they told her, oh, look, we need to renovate now because the Muslim was running it. We need to renovate that, a bit of renovation, and we find a new lodger that will make you income, okay? Because you're supposed to preserve and enhance the assets. You're not supposed to take everything to yourself and leave your mom half dead with strange narcotics. Neither you're supposed to do it to your sister. Apparently, they were sitting on 7 years on a will. Two parents that were British or Anglo-Saxon didn't write or read well in Hebrew. Suddenly, after many years that you have wills in my late father had a will for me, Daniel. He had a lawyer in English that he submitted. Suddenly, wills in Hebrew that this Arik kept for 7 years, they were sitting on them. Never learned what is the trust law. Very strict. To negotiation, I have agreed in the two negotiations to leave the house. Just some kind of a restriction order that they stop hitting me, and I will go into the evidence. The compensation is about 90 million. They should sit in jail. Now I'm going into the evidence. Share screen. Okay, I'm going into evidence. Okay, I'm opening the restriction orders first of all. Another criminal file opened by police 314612, theft and robbery when the bank. First of all, they were from the death. The time of the death, they just came all the time to beat me up, steal stuff from the house. They sent okay. First of all, you can see here from 2020. Okay, I'm going into the request for a restriction order. Here we have the criminal files. 314612, they have a new criminal file for breaking and entry by the delivery guy whose name is Ronen Freud on the 13th of November 2025. Okay, so let's go one. One, you can see the neurological report from January 23. Two, you can see while she had a advanced ALS. Two, you can see that they went into her bank, took her credit card, and just withdrew money. And it isn't her because she was completely paralyzed. She was mute and she wasn't able to move. Three, you can see here that there's the fraudulent legal papers. I think again, okay, already in January 2023, you can see that they signed her while she's mute and paralyzed on an ongoing power attorney. Now, I want to explain something about an ongoing power attorney to sell her house. Or, this thing of guardianship. Also, they did it on me. Medical guardianship and an economical guardianship. I never signed it. They put narcotics on me. And they, while I'm having a stroke and, can't drooling and my teeth are falling, they might have signed my parents. But, so now you can see Dana, the supervisor of the guardianship, said it never went into they never showed this, by the way, in case 25135 from that, the inheritance case that was in front of the Honorable Judge SS, which they never showed it, right? They just claimed it in court. I was completely shocked because I'm in finance. I know what it means that they did it to an elderly woman. And Arik was selling a house, didn't let her return to the house. They also were sending me, expelling to get it to leave the house while my mom was dying, which I agreed. I went to Tel Aviv. I was phoning the Muslim. Come, I have an agreement. Come and help me out to do a contract. And he said, "Oh, I don't like the way you talk." Now let's go on the evidence. Oh, we have more. 5. Okay, we have 3. We have 5. 4. Okay, 5. Suspicion for poisoning. In Ichilov, the Muslim came with an overdose of opiates, which I managed to stop him. My mom was 40 kilos. He brought big, she had a hip replacement. He could have he shouted at her, to take these big pills every day. I mean, she could go into an overdose. She was so afraid of them, both of them, poisoning her. She finished 30 kilo. She just refused to eat. She was talking to the social worker and and she also said they killed me. She said, they are trying to kill me for the money. I was, what the hell are you talking about, Mom? And now I understand how. They are holding narcotics in the house. They have some kind of a medical guardianship on me, threatening with poisoning on me. People from Muslims, I'm not sure they even have a residents of Israel are phoning me saying they're psychiatrists and they're coming to take me from my house. I have this is the current thing. Vandalism to they tried to open to the dormitory. They tried to dismantle the house while I'm living there. They will send in a sabotager for about 2 months, roaming around the house. Also, by the way, the delivery guy came at night, at 10 o'clock at night. I don't know why. It's half a dunam. You can phone. None of them phoned before. They come at 10 o'clock of night and see someone in my bathroom. I mean, it's not something reasonable. And the sabotager did it. And apparently, Arik has some connection with this sabotager. He knows when he came and when he didn't come. And also with this delivery guy. Okay, now you can see the SMS from the 3 of them. You can see the bank account. This is very important. 2 and 3, you can see the summary of the violence and the vandalism. And 4, you can see in the neurological findings that she was completely mute and paralyzed, and they were taking out money from her bank account. And now this is Arik, the Vai. Now you can see Muslims. He was accused by the Hezbollah. You can see all kinds of SMS about me being decapitated from Muslims. You can see here the younger one threatens on me that he has all kinds of shots. This is something that is currently creating a massacre of people. It's in this is anti-dopamine. You can get into paralyzed and really strokes and stuff like that. And I mean, it's an extended release of dopamine inhibitors. You have is Brexer who killed an old school a drug that killed people in Norway. From Norway, it was produced in Norway. It's a very, very dangerous drug. It's supposed to be only 1% of the population, and usually you could see it in a scan with these people who are born with what is known as a schizoaffective, or it's something to do with the lateral cortex. But this you can, if someone gets it, is muted, just the teeth fall out and all of that. Now let's say this is the documentation of the mutes. Okay. Now you can see this is a guy I had to date it in the that he was in the house and saw this sabotage. He actually asked to threaten him because he was walking at night. So we have a witness here. You can see all the sabotage to myself. You can see the social worker, the doctor writing that they beat me up. They dragged me all the way in the Shiva, and later on they were coming and running after me in the garden, just without phoning. We're talking about Ode, Dan, just, and they ran away when the police came. So this is all the violence to my body. This is from the doctor. Now let's go into the theft. let's go to the time of death, which is the 6th of March. My mom died on the 6th of March. This. Now you can see also the time of death, withdrawal of the money. Now the younger is a banker. He was the banker of her. I mean, he sat on the cream. That's one thing. On the time of death, you can see plenty of they're taking out money, January, taking out money, 7,000. One day on the 23rd of January, she's already completely, ALS. She's already defined an ALS. 2,000, 8,000. Again, January, 8,000. Again, 2,000, 8,000. It's crazy. Crazy. It's a real exploitation of someone who's dying. I mean, you're her son. You took her credit card and just withdraw money. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now I'll show this was active, the judge knows because, okay. So I'm reading the findings. ALS. The left, okay, findings. Let's go to the conclusions. This study shows electromagnetic evidence for ongoing developmental reinventation three areas nervous system, i.e. cervical, lumbar, and thoracic. In the lumbar and cervical area, it was seen in muscles that originate from the different roots and nerves on the background of almost normal snaps and severely reduced CMAPs. In addition, in repetitive nerve stimulation of 3 Hz, a mild decremental response was seen. These findings are compatible with motor neuron disease. You have a couple of motor neuron diseases. Also, narcotics can, but the opiates are not necessarily, but other narcotics can make you so paralyzed that it doesn't happen. Okay. In addition, likely since the amplitude of the ulnar nerve was very small, thus the findings of decent rental response is not specific. They are compatible with motor neuron disease. A differential diagnosis might be severe motor neuropathy. Anyway, she was completely paralyzed. There's a suspicion of narcotics. These, by the way, her medical file, they came in and they stole. But luckily, I managed to scan it before that because, let's see, I have to take down the ongoing power of attorney that they signed before that. Okay, let's just go through the appendixes. In the appendixes, you can see, again, there's a request from me to the brothers. I've done 2 negotiations. I agreed to leave the house on her day of death, just leave me alone. Arik did it, and he misrepresented it in court because he says, oh, she is, insisting on making it a long process. No, to negotiate was very, very expensive. They made out, it's going with Yoav Golan and Talia Danieli, 2 lawyers, which I agreed to leave the house. Just, eliminate that think of you creating a trust. You don't have the ability. You don't know what bookkeeping is. The laws of the trust, you need innocence of the heart. You need, okay, so here you can see that I'm again, you haven't given me, he says I'm swearing and I'm not polite to him while I'm asking, this is the elder Muslim brother, I'm asking for the request of what happened in the bank. He says I'm cursing. And again, it's from 2020, actually it was from 2021 because they hid it from the mom as well. They were gambling and stuff like that. And okay, so this is the first one. Again and again, I'm asking for it. This is also the complaints in the police. I cannot, the bank official cannot interfere because it says it's an ongoing case. These are requests, I've shown it in the, he actually made it very nice. This is a judge that says that he doesn't understand English. This Talia made in July 2023. She made it by herself, but it's not really. I wasn't. Okay. Now this. Why is it like that? Okay. So which page are we in? 52. Let's move to okay. By the way, it restored itself. It was they completely zeroed it, all the investments of the father, and it restored by I'm an accountant. It was restored because the banker bought my share, which his name is Nvidia, which we had a big debate in 2020, and he said, no, don't buy, this is page 58, and he actually bought it. I could see it in the banks. He bought it in 50. So here you can see this is the sum in 20. The opening sum is 8 million. In 20, when my father died, it was 8 million. That's, about 6 years, which they made it zero. And it grew because of NVIDIA, but it's nothing to do with their knowledge. It's a knowledge of what you learn as being an accountant. So this is a summary of before my dad's death. You can see his investments and his this is the bank. It's they even took it less, 8,200. And I was his tax advisor for my father and my brother. This you can see is known as offsetting of losses, which I was for many years. I was putting in for my. It's page 62. I was submitting. I was in charge in the office of my father to doing the offsetting of losses, mostly from the stock exchange. A lot of people in our office did it, and you can see here that only he was around 300,000 shekels, 20 years, he never recovered. This at page 63, you can see at page 63, my mom and my father have a flat in Eilat. For 20 years, they used to have an income. I can show every year and every year, which is exempted from tax. It's a small income, but still it's an income that doesn't, give it's a very important income because it's a non-taxable income. And at this stage, it's of your life, it's very important. The banker took that flat in Eilat after they renovated to put lodges. He took from 2021, he took over it. He never gave the mother a key and never gave me a key. Again, if they need to make a will, a trust, you're supposed to have an innocence of heart. You're supposed to preserve and enlarge the money. You're supposed to do bookkeeping, also an ongoing power of attorney. You cannot just withdraw money from the bank. So this is the appendix. This is my father. I have a paper. I uploaded in his life already. You can see here, uploaded in his life, all his portfolio. We talked a lot about it. So this is around August, August 2024. It was supposed to be 18 million, and in the death when they took it out, it was supposed to be 24 million. Now you can see that this is the Kobe. I don't know, he was a sabotager. He was walking around my house in the middle of the night. I had to block all my because he was, just peeping around. It was, now I noticed, and he did a lot of sabotage into the house. This is Uri. We covered this already. This is Talia. This is put this already, you know. You can see the social worker talks about me being beaten up. This is my mom. My mom didn't write in the Hebrew, only in English. You could see her writing here. This is the writing of my father. Very, very bad. He never wrote something in his handwriting, but see, it's very. I have to show it. This is the will. This guy, Mark, they paid him in cash. Where is he? Mark Baum. This one. They paid him, the Muslim paid him in cash. And also, you can see he lived in for some reason, he was locked in the office. He's registered as living in the office. This is very typical, by the way, to Arek's documents. Arek brought this will. And he later in 2018, he took with Dan or something, he took a portfolio of 800,000 shekels. Now a witness in a will, he also signed, I do not have any interest, economical interest in the estate of any of this, the father or the mom. This is actually, I didn't know the my mama had, but it's and it's all the negotiations that are already in 21. It broke my. Here you can see they opened an old. The saboteur opened an old chimney, which all the water came in, and a pole in my house fell on my head. I was 3 days unable to walk. These are real criminal people. This is my mom wanted to dedicate her body corpse to the University of Tel Aviv. After poisoning her, they just buried her. I was completely shocked. They didn't, take this into consideration, which, it's murder, 300. Why did they bury her if she wanted to donate her corpse to research? She signed everything. You could check it with the University of Tel Aviv. Now, this is very important. This was given in the will, in the case of the will 25135, which from 21, no data from the bank arrived. It was all through the banker, the audit, the friend of the Muslim. Both of them were, as I showed, they were withdrawing money. So here, once in around August or September, July 20, and then we made this document. The bank sent the balances, and you could see stuff. You could see that money was missing. So he more or less I say 6 million are missing from the banks according to the balances that are 6 million, and I'm asking for me and for my sister to get this 3 million here and 3 million there. Okay, so he shows the complaint to the police. They already had a criminal case, 314612 of a theft. He says, well, it's not but it's the balances of the, says Picadon, it's not, but anyway. And very calmly, he doesn't, maybe he shows that I'm beaten up. And he says, we're talking about, if someone understands, an accountant is the highest degree in finance. It's not economics, it's lower than them. To be a manager of whatever that shit that my brother did, a manager of whatever, all of that is, I did his a BA seminar working 4 hours and he got 100. It's the lowest of the lowest. accountancy is the highest financial degree that can be. And they, in the beginning says, oh, this will, and you need to make a trust for her because she's wasteful. And then now they're saying you need to make a trust for her because she's a frugal. I mean, they all lied and lied and lied, beaten me up, killed my mom. My mom said they're trying to kill her. Okay, so now you can see here, this is the balances that I summarized in the capital statement for my father. This is, as I said, it's a form that you give to the income tax, offsetting of losses of Dan. You can see he's a gambler. He's all the time, 20 years of loss and loss and loss. Here you can see that they have not appointed in the bank. According to the banking laws, you're supposed to appoint someone if you're taking over a bank and it's in the consent of the elderly woman. You're supposed to appoint. You can see that there's no appointments. It's just her. And we're talking about someone who was 15 years a banker. He knows very well he shouldn't touch her money. Again, this is the 8 million, which later on grew to 14, but it's only because of my share. Okay, it's again Uri as a witness. This is, I have disability as a beaten woman. I mean, they're also beating me up there too because he brought us some kind of narcotics to. He decided I'm retarded, and all this what is written in my medical file is me being beaten up by a crew of Muslims and Soviet Muslims that come into the Department of Women. And the state auditor said that this shit happens, that women are tied up and it's not supposed to be. And I'm very lucky to say that it didn't happen to me, but I saw girls are taken by men after hours and come back like narcomans. And this is not in the author's book, but his abuse and force-fed people, and they completely, I mean, it's like a gulag or a Nazi camp. There are girls without legs there, without legs. Why the hell are girls without legs are there? And they're all going on with the bank papers, stealing. And this is my credentials. This is Barilan. This is my tax advice in studies. This is the rent for Melat. This is all my summary of what they gave me from Elat, because you could get like a refund from the taxes regarding that. Again, we're talking about this. We're talking about this. Oh, yeah. The violence, handwriting of my father, the will itself. Wow, we really have copies here. Didn't realize that. Copies. Okay, this is my BA in psychology. This is me being registered as a tax advisor. Again, I'm all the time registered as a tax. Now, this is very important because this is the bar exam of the Ministry of Justice. Now, I got 77. It's an amazing mark, by the way. And you can see here, this is financial tools. I was working 2 jobs at the time when I did the test. And this is financial tools. It's a very rare. This is you can see psychopharmacology. You can see quite a lot of very high results in psychology. This is me in the police, working as a lifeguard. I'm also a lifeguard, working as a lifeguard as the police. I'm still doing that with the contractor. You have to be very, see well. This is a Barilan. You can see very mathematics for economists 95, micro macro, very high grades, mostly in the financial, less in the law. This is again the neurological, where page 128. Didn't realize that they. Okay. This is 6-2, a file that wasn't dealt by the judge. although Lod told me to submit it in. It was submitted to Petah Tikva. It's 62800. Now we're talking about 137, page 137. It was asked by Lod. They said you cannot submit an appeal, give all the other papers because you have to put, and it was in Petah Tikva and no one dealt with it. And at the end, after about a 1.5 months, Sigalit Ofek, the judge, gave it a very understandable answer. I don't know, the reason was because it was in the mail or whatever. I mean, a beaten woman, I also said it by fax, said it by any means. Now, we have so many cash on the table that it's unbelievable. This is the list of my father's portfolio. I still have it, by the way. All the shares that he invested, an accountant, it's like a sample, but we have more of it. This is a taboo. Said that they want to do the taboo. Also register themselves. These are all the papers that I've saved of the mortgage, because you have to make this is also it's a renovation that they did in Eilat. It doesn't get into the sums that they withdrew. This is the capital statement of my father at 2018. They lost so much money, and a compensation fund that he deposited in Menorah. It took me 2 years to locate it. The bank and him, they lost it. She had an eddy. He did whatever he wanted with her corpse. Now, this is Mark Baum. It's very important. It's 151. This is all the complaint that I did. Mark Baum got something like $1 million shekels. Very important. 152. These are negotiations that I've done. 152. It's very important. This Mark Baum, they just mixed it up. It's not the way that I made it. They just didn't scan it well. I organized it so well. Just a moment, baby. This is me, 66%. Because they took over the money, I could have made the 66%. By the way, it's all will be donations to IDF and the police. Nothing to the family. Again, at the police, a lifeguard at the police. I don't know why I put it in. And this is I think this is my, yeah, I think they scanned it. Okay, they scanned it. This is my claim. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so they have scanned it. 190. This is my claim, counterclaim. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we have also evidence from her. They just didn't put it in the right place. Ah. Okay. But they scanned it. They scanned it. So it's here. Don't know why they put it here, but anyway. It's their fuck. Okay, it's good to know. Very strange scanning, but anyway. Okay, it's in. Fantastic. I'm ending this Zoom. Don't know how long it happened.